So this is our front room. This is kind of the multi-purpose community room. When we did our renovation a couple years ago, this room got the most attention. It got new carpet, it got new chairs and tables, new screen, relocated the projector, repainted the walls, put a nice accent wall with some fancy graphics and vinyl up. And it's kind of cluttered at the moment because it's getting a lot of use, but this is the room that we have our meetings in when we do a space meeting. This is the room that other community groups use to do teaching or presentations. This is the room where on a night of open studio time, folks hit the drive-through and grab their dinner and bring it here and sit around the table and share a meal together. So this is our front room, this is our community room, this is probably our most versatile room. And this is the first thing you see when you walk in. Left here.
Okay.
This is our creative lab, creative studio, printer room. We've not really found a name that sticks to it, but this is where our 3D printer lives. This is where our laser cutter lives. This is where our 2D printers live. And this is where our new sewing center, textiles area will be created. It's in its infancy. But we do have can do some embroidery. We've got a vinyl cutter, so we can do some vinyl graphics and so forth. Part of our remodel, when we did this, we built all new custom countertops and put the new floor in. And this room in the original configuration was more of a hallway, and part of our remodel was to close it in and really make it a destination room. I do have to just point out, we do have to show off the bathroom with our custom-made bathroom sign. And the only reason we do that is because our first space was in a building that was about a block long, and we were in the basement, and the bathroom, there was one bathroom in the basement at the other end of the building, a block away, and it didn't even have hot water. And so the criteria number one when we were looking for a new space was it's got to have a bathroom with hot water. So that's the highlight of our tour. Sad as it might be. So let's walk in here. This going into our clean room, our clean shop area. This is our sort of kitchenette area. When we did our remodel, we found that because members were bringing food in, and we wanted a place where we could wash up dishes, microwave, toaster oven, some storage, refrigerator. So we created that. In this area too is our first aid cabinet and our member storage. We've opted to go with banker's boxes. They're inexpensive, they're modular, they're readily available, and we're able to provide a whole lot of storage within a fairly small physical footprint. The metal cabinet's got all of our paint and glue and solvents in it, kind of a fire cabinet. Then we go into, again, it's a little bit cluttered, but it's our material storage. This is where things go not to die, but to be reborn. So somebody drops off a piece of equipment and we tear it down to its components and we throw it into the bins. And then this is the kind of stuff that's available for our members to consume and reuse in projects. Again, we're going with banker's boxes for a lot of our storage, or the plastic shoe boxes. We're trying to standardize to create kind of a modular system. So this is still kind of a work in progress. We've got our hardware store that's got all kinds of nuts and bolts and brackets, and again, stuff that we've found that we've taken apart, or a member buys a box of screws to work on a project, they use whatever they need, and the rest go into the hardware store. Kind of scanning around, we've got a workbench with all of our hand tools, measuring, cutting, filing, everything we need back there. We've got some clamps. We'll catch the rest of the tools as we go through there. In this area are our workbenches, our modular storage. The key thing to this is everything's on casters. All of our benches are the same height. They're all on casters, so we can reconfigure whether we need one big workbench that's got 4 of them put together, or we need 4 individual benches. Everything can be rolled around. The benches are the same height as the fixed cabinet, or the fixed benches that have our hand tool storage, so we can do some outfeed. When we go into our dirty shop, The tables are the same height as our table saw, so we can do some outfeed with that. We did kind of skip past our electronics bench. This is one of the pieces of thing. This is, I think, one of the first things that we obtained in our old space. So probably one of the oldest pieces of equipment we have is the bench itself. Of course, you can tell by looking at some of the equipment itself, whether it's the oscillator, the oscilloscope, power supply, that we've done some scavenging over the years to get those things together as well. But we've got a good soldering iron, we've got some helping hands, some vise, good power supply, so all of our electronics can get done right in there. And again, as you kind of walk through just other projects, somebody found a plotter. You can see we have it's a genuine pen plotter because it's got a pen in it, an ink pen. Scratch built stand up on the wall, one of our members did. One of our members does costuming, wanted to do some vacuum forming, built his own vacuum former. As somebody who has been in plastics production industry over the years, what amazes me about this is the depth of that draw that he was able to achieve with that vacuum former with only one little defect. And so as scratch built, home built vacuum formers go, the quality there is amazing. I like to show that off, even if it's just sort of a scrap piece of plastic. Some other projects, some safety gear. When we first started out, we were blessed with some battery tools that literally had been scavenged out of a dumpster. We had a hodgepodge of tools, we had a hodgepodge of batteries. That's a few years ago. We said, you know what? It's time to take it to the next level. We opted for the Ryobi system, not necessarily to plug Ryobi, but because they have a battery system that has a huge variety of tools and all on the same battery. And then about 6 months ago, a couple of our members decided we needed to create a nice organized way to store them all. We saw some plans online for using PVC pipe to create tool racks. One of our members loves PVC pipe. Boom, here our tool storage was created. Nothing fancy, but I mean, you can see some old shelf brackets used a little bit different, PVC pipe, and the end result is a nice organized system. You can quickly grab a couple of drills, drivers, the saws, the batteries, the vacuum, grinder, whatever you need. And then some more hand tools.
We got some sharpening on that too, which a lot of spaces miss.
We've got, I think we have a little mini belt sander under there too, somewhere, for doing some of that sharpening. One of our members is an expert at sharpening blades, particularly pocket knives and that kind of thing, but also chisels. He can shave with his chisels, and so he helps out a lot with that. So, all right, through this door into our dirty shop. Basically, what's back here is anything that will create dust, dirt, sparks, anything sort of dangerous or dirty or cluttered or whatever is back here. So our bandsaw, our mill, our little grinding station, drill press, mini CNC, I can't remember, that's from Inventables, I can't remember the name of that. Shapeoko, that's what that is, the CNC. We've got a router table, we've got a shaper and a planer, table saw, we've got a small metal lathe tucked in there, big air compressor, we've got a wire welder and a stick welder, some various other hand tools. Kind of coming over here, our saw station with our regular chop saw, sanding belt, metal cutoff saw. What else? There's a scroll saw down there, there's a drum sander, one of our welders, a big old metal lathe. This was somebody's grandfather sitting in a barn, all rusted. He didn't know what to do with it, and he said, "Don't you have that workshop that you're a member of? Why don't you take it and see if they can do something with it?" So basically, somebody's grandfather donated this massive lathe to us. We've had to do a few things over the years. We've had to, build out some brackets and, make a new handle and dial. One of our members rigged up some controls to it and the backsplash and that kind of thing. And we've done some amazing stuff with it, again, just out of the generosity of our members.
Looks like a dust collecting.
Yeah, we do have a scratch-built cyclone dust there.
Some sleds
Then
for the table
we'll
saw.
Open up the garage door because one of the features of our space, sort of the unspace, is the fact that the way the environment we're in is it's a line of mixed-use warehouse sort of retail space. Not really retail, but flex space, I think is what they call it. And the beauty of it, all of our neighbors pretty much are here Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We're here not Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So when we're here, our neighbors aren't. And it's great because we can make noise, we can make fire, we can make a mess, and we're not upsetting anybody. And nobody's complaining about us being here. We've got this area back behind the building that gives us a nice, can't really tell completely, but it gives us a nice big open driveway. So if we need to bring something back here, or if we're racing our Power Wheels car, or we're lighting off fireworks, or blowing up pumpkins, or whatever, we've got a protected space back here. There's no traffic. We're not disturbing anybody, and we're not at risk of damaging anything.